Hey everyone, Eric Thompson here. Hope that you are doing well on this New Year's Day. It is 1:37 here in Georgetown, Kentucky. And so from my family to yours, we want to wish you a very, very Merry Christmas, of course. We're still in the octave of Christmas. And a very Happy New Year. Thank you. Thank you. Now, some of you have seen the video I put up earlier this week, I guess last week, about a project for 2013. As you can already tell by the title of this video, this project is greenlit. It is a go. We are going in, okay? So good luck. The project is this, my friends. For this year, 2013, the film review, it's you and me and all of us together. I suppose mostly me, though. That's okay. We're going to survey the AFI, the American Film Institute Top 100. I thought I had the list somewhere around. That's okay. We'll get it later. Actually, I'll post a link to the Top 100 in the description of this video. You can go over there and check it out. And so you can ruin the surprise, or just follow along. There are 100 videos in the top 100, can you believe it? And there are 364, 56, whatever days in the year. And so I'll be doing a video every 3 days or so. Now, full disclosure, I'm going to leave to go on my honeymoon with my sweet wife, Tori. You know who she is. We're leaving on Saturday. And so I don't know if I'll post a lot during that time. What I might do is record some videos ahead of time and then just put them on the delayed uploader, is what they call it. So that it'll upload to Facebook and then go private, or to YouTube, excuse me, and then go private at whatever time. But in any case, you'll get a video every 3 or so days. And so today, January 1st, 2013, we're starting with number 100. And so, theoretically, on December 31st, 2013, can you believe it even exists? All the way at the end of the year will be number 1. And so this is a little different. It's obviously a sizable project, but I think it can be done and somewhat easily, okay? Here's my objective, and here's how things are going to go. I mentioned this in the video beforehand, but I'd like to just flesh it out one more time really quickly. Each video is, we're going to try to limit it to about 3 or 3 to 5 to 7 minutes, 3 to 7 minutes, no longer than 7 minutes, but 5 minutes is my target, okay? 10 minutes would be too long, just for one film. And in the video, I'm going to give you a little plot synopsis, maybe some trivia, some kind of neat things about the video that maybe you didn't know before, and then I'm going to ask 3 questions of each film. And the 3 questions are this, and I'll go ahead and just read them here off my sheet. The first question is, why is this movie on the AFI Top 100? Or what qualities does it have that make it a Top 100 film? Okay. 2, and this is a suggestion from Megan. Also, I think it was either it was Michael or Eric, or who was it? Emma? Whoever it was who suggested it. They recommended, you know, the question of, would you recommend it to someone to watch? Well, that's a difficult question to ask because my personal tastes are not going to be yours, and certainly my personal tastes may not necessarily agree with the American Film Institute. But number 2, the second question is, Megan, your suggestion, is the film relevant to today? Which I think in a way is also asking, would you recommend it? You know, or another way to say, who cares about this movie? And would you care enough about it to recommend it to someone else because it has enough relevance for today? Or would you recommend it, or, you know, whatever. Anyway, I'd say that's confusing, but you get it. Second question, is the film relevant to today? And the third is, can I identify and reflect on a moment of faith, or a moment of divinity, or a moment of realization, or reality, or revelation in the movie? And so that's a bit of a spiritual moment, you know, a bit of reflection there, and we'll pull in different sources and that kind of thing. With that being said, I think we should just go ahead and get on with number 100. Finally, and quickly, just beforehand, before we get into that, my intention is to kind of go a little bit off the beaten path with this series, okay? I'm going to put it on a playlist on YouTube so you can go back and look at stuff. I'll go ahead and build the playlist into each video description as well, and so in this video you'll see number 100, but you'll be watching it anyway. And then, so by the time you get to number 100, it'll all be there in the video description and in the playlist. And so if you wanted to, you could just click on there, get 10 of these, and you can watch through the whole thing all the way through at the very end, which is kind of fun for us anyway. 2 things, then we're going to start, I promise. 1, I'm going to get out of this room, okay? My sweet Tori and I, we got a really, really cool camera as a wedding gift, and so we intend to make use of that. It films in great quality, and so maybe we'll do some reflections and videos while we're on our honeymoon and in different places, okay? I don't want to just sit here on the couch and holler at you. Also, hopefully I can get some other people in to do reviews as well. Certainly Tori. I know that some of the videos on the top 100 videos that she really, really likes, whether I like them or not, but that she's passionate about, and so I would like to hear what she would say about these 3 questions. And perhaps some of you as well might want to chime in. We could do a couple viewer editions, okay? So, with that being said, let's get on with it. Vegas has a lot of work to do for us. This year, he's going to do a lot of things. So, let's have it, Vegas. Number 100. Ben-Hur, A Tale of the Christ. 1959, okay? Plot synopsis. Ready? Now, there are like 4 plot lines. I'm just going to give you the overarching one, okay? Charlton Heston plays Prince Judah Ben-Hur, a prominent leader and merchant living in Jerusalem about 25 to 27 A.D., okay? So after Jesus has been born, but still pretty early in that epoch of time, okay? And so there he is, very well loved, very well known, a faithful Jewish man, and his childhood friend Masala returns from his bowels, okay? And Masala comes back as a tribune in the Roman Empire, the Roman government. Well, here immediately, you can imagine we have some conflict between, isn't this the way it still is in the Middle East, between a Jewish native and a Roman, person, a Roman government person. And so they butt heads early on, but they're still friends, and so they want to be nice about it. Although unfortunately, it just does not end up that way. A Roman dignitary comes to town in a parade, and a tile slips off of Ben-Hur's house and strikes him. Actually, in the film, it just lands in front of the horse, and the horse jumps up, and the guy falls off the horse anyway. But they think that Ben-Hur did this intentionally, as a move against Rome. And so he's thrown into prison, 3 years as a slave in the galleys of the Roman Empire, okay? Through an unbelievable series of events, he comes actually into power in the Roman Empire, and eventually faces Masala and kills him, okay? Well, you know what I'm going to say. That, of course, is not even half the story, even though that is the central plot line. That's all I want to say, though, right now about Ben-Hur, is that at the very heart of the story, maybe foundationally speaking, you have the story of Ben-Hur and Masala. Childhood friends, loved each other, true brothers, but then enemies because of their national affiliations, okay? Government, state, so on and so forth. Very messy, very intense, okay? But Ben-Hur, A Tale of the Christ. And so, as I said, 26 AD. Well, who's kind of around during this time, okay? Jesus is hanging, okay? And so, or maybe 26 BC. Whatever. And so, I guess it'd be AD, wouldn't it? Yeah. Anyway, and so there he is. Jesus sort of woven throughout the story. And the way he appears, the places he appears in, really beautifully done, okay? Why is this movie in the top 100? Well, it's barely in the top 100, isn't it? I think it's fair to say that this list, this AFI Top 100, was revised in 2007, and so I think that Ben-Hur dropped from like 79 to 100. And so it's losing its favor. That's okay. No harm done. It's still in the top 100. This is my #1 favorite film of all films. Okay, I'm not ashamed to say that. And so I'm a little hurt that, that it is at the very final position in this great list of films. But at least it's on there. Why? Why a top 100? Okay, let's get on with the obvious stuff. I won 11 Oscars in 1959, 1960. Real quick. Best sound, best scoring, best film editing, best special effects. These are, the next three are kind of interesting because they don't exist anymore, technically. Best costume design in a color film. Best cinematography in a color film. Best art direction in a color film. Best actor in a supporting role, Stephen Boyd. Best actor in a leading role, Charlton Heston. Best director, William Wyler, who was also an executive producer at the very end. And of course, Ben-Hur won Best Picture. Only 3 films share the distinction of having won 11 Oscars. The other 2, of course, as I've said before, are Titanic and Return of the King, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. No film in history has won 12, and so we're kind of waiting to see if any film will be so great as to win. At the time in 1958, 1959, of course, production was several years before then. Ben-Hur was the most expensive film ever made. Even the marketing budget was $3 million, which was unheard of. At the time, Wyler and all the executive producers and marketing geniuses wanted to capture the interest of young people. And so part of this $3 million was spent sending surveys to over 2,000 high schools in the United States to see if kids would like this movie. They even sent out study guides for children in classrooms to go over before they went and saw the movie. Unbelievable. Nothing you would ever think of or hear today. Of course, now they just have commercials. And you see the commercial and you want to go see the movie. But that was the approach they took to build this film up. The score, composed by Miklos Rosa, which of course, as I just mentioned, won an Academy Award for Best Scoring of a Dramatic or Comedy Picture. It was the longest score ever composed for a single motion picture, and it remains the longest score composed for one motion picture. If you're not familiar with the score, if I could have Vegas cue up a little bit of the music for us, we can enjoy that. It's a tremendous score, beautiful. You know, the film itself runs in at 211 or 212 minutes, I think. That's a lot of movie, okay? And so Miklos was in over his head when it came to the music, but he definitely overdid himself. And it really, until the early 70s when John Williams came around and started making, you know, movie music that was popular even in the orchestra halls, no other score really before the Ben-Hur score had such popularity. It was recorded on 3 LPs, and then it was recorded again as a Ben-Hur suite, and then recorded again on 1 LP so people could listen to it at home. It was a whole different world for film music then, unlike now when you can get the, you know, the soundtrack of 2 months before the movie comes out. These 3 reasons alone, you know, 11 Oscars, the expense and grandeur of the film, and a tremendous legacy in film music, I think, you know, give it a place of prominence as a top 100 film. But who cares, really? I mean, is the film relevant to today? Absolutely. Okay? The chariot race sequence at the end of the movie, months and months and months of preparation to build the set, okay? And then to shoot it, and all of the legends and legacies that go along with this. You're familiar, of course, with widescreen format. That's how you're watching me now on YouTube, okay? 2, 7, 6 to 1. Can I explain that real quick, just real fast? I know we're getting a little over time, but this is so interesting. I just think this is so cool. At the time, they were not filming a lot of movies in widescreen format. Why? It was hard. Cinematographers didn't know what to do. Let us just say that, let's see, if the frame of this shot is just here, you know, beyond my shoulders, and you're just seeing this much of me, no problem, because you're just looking at me, and I'm huge, okay? And so I'm filling up the frame, no problem. But look at all this space. All this space that I have to fill up with Vegas text or stuff down here, or this beautiful new avatar that my sweet wife designed, and all these different things, okay, have to fill up the frame. Cinematographers have to do that with sets, with action, with actors, with extras, with special effects, with whatever it is, okay? 1-to-1, that aspect ratio, 1-to-1, is a square. How do you do that? Like this? Is that a square? Wait, this is hard to do backwards. That's a square, whatever it is. So, and it goes, the higher the number goes, on the other side, the denominator side, forget it. So, 1-to-1. So, 2-to-1 would be twice, oh no, wait, sorry, I'm doing everything backwards, would be twice as long, 2.76 to 1. So you keep this ratio, but 2.76. That's letterbox widescreen, okay? And they thought, what are we going to do? And that's why they cast thousands of extras, okay? Why they built monumental set pieces for this film. Because they wanted to fill up that widescreen, true widescreen. And it's no mistake. And here's why this movie is relevant to today. That so many epic masterpieces have been recorded in widescreen ever since. Even films from the 60s, and the 70s, and the 80s. I mean, we're talking Lawrence of Arabia. We're talking Bridge on the River Kwai. We're talking, of course, the Indiana Jones films as well. So on and so forth. But then to get into the mega epics of recent years. The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, Gladiator, Lord of the Rings trilogy, okay? Even, to be fair, your Twilight films, okay? They fill up the whole frame with Kristen Stewart's weird face and her twitching and her emotional pauses. This is why this is relevant, okay? Ben-Hur is sort of the grandfather of the epic film. Of course, even before that, you had great films as well. But Ben-Hur encapsulated a lot of what it meant to be, or what an epic film should be, what it should look like. And of course now, these days, you'd be hard-pressed to get away with making a film that long. But perhaps you've seen The Hobbit, or other recent films, and they're pretty long too, and very epic indeed. The third question, and quickly, is there a moment of faith, or a moment of divinity, or divine reality in this film? Well, of course there is, because it's in the title. Ben-Hur, A Tale of the Christ, and not just any Christ, Jesus, that's right. And so, the whole story really sort of orbits Jesus himself. Not only his activity as a minister, as a disciple of, of God, okay, the Son of God as a divine person, a miracle worker, but also as Savior. And the film ends with a very gripping passion sequence, okay? All of these things. And of course how Ben-Hur himself interacts with Jesus. And so even those moments, as few as they are treated so beautifully and are absolutely clear moments of faith. You know, in these moments we see examples of what Jesus said, what we would later call the golden rule: do unto others, you know, as you would have them do unto you. Or, whatever you do unto others is what you do unto me. That's what Jesus said. It's like, if you treat someone poorly, you're really treating me poorly. Or if you treat someone well, then you're treating me well. And that kind of thing. And frankly, you know, this is what we see in our relationships every day. When we fail each other, you know, we find that we fail ourselves as well. When we do well with each other, we find that we also please God, that we serve God well in our little victories, okay? And so even here at this new year, January 1, as we prepare for this brand new year, make a concerted effort, I beg you, to find a little victory every day, and to do unto others as you would want them to do to you. Watch Ben-Hur. Make that a resolution, okay? As my favorite film, wearing this cool shirt that Michael got me. Thank you, Michael. You know, I urge you, I admonish you to watch this film, because in it, you will see the reality of what it means to come face to face with Jesus. And I hope that you'll have an experience of him this year, however mysterious that might be, very mysterious indeed, but divine nonetheless. God is alive. God loves you. And I'm glad that we can share in this fun little project together. Now, we're at 20 minutes, and I told my sweet wife before I started filming, I said, it'd be 7 to 10 minutes long. Well, I have not done very well. But that's okay. This is the first one out of the gate, and so we had to get through it, and now I know that I have to shut up much more than I have to talk. Anyway. Number 100, Ben-Hur. Number 99 coming up very soon. Again, a link to the AFI Top 100 in the description below, along with a link to this video. Not that you would need it. The playlist will be posted in the video descriptions as we go along, and also this video itself is in a playlist on YouTube. And so down below, or over on this side, I think you should see a bar, and you can, depending on what browser you use, and you can click around to the different videos, and you can watch them all in order. So thank you for sticking with me during, well, I guess not sticking with me, for joining me initially. I hope you'll stick around. Like and subscribe. Share this video with your friends. Let's get people over here to enjoy this series as the year goes along. A AFI Top 100 in Review 2013. Again, my friends, Eric Thompson here. At least I was here. Now, I do hope that you're doing very, very well. What's this? What was that? She's been here the whole time. Take care, my friends. Happy New Year. We'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.